Welcome to the instruction video for the Warminster Library's Teen Take-Home Craft. This video is a guide for creating a cute felt fox that you can turn into a keychain or ornament. If you reserved a kit from the library, most of the supplies are provided for you. If you did not, you can still follow along with this video, you'll just need to acquire your own supplies first. The supplies needed for this craft are as follows: felt, stuffing, a needle and thread, template, scissors, and ribbon or a keychain ring. The first step is to cut out the template. Trace the template pieces onto your felt, then cut out the felt. The larger pieces of the body and tail will be orange, as well as the head, while the smaller pieces of the body and tail, as well as the whiskers and ears, will be white. In addition, you will need 2 pieces of the body, tail, ears, and head. The white ear pieces are not part of the template that is provided in the kit, but are just 2 small triangles. The next step is to start by threading your needle. If you picked up a kit from the library, you were provided with embroidery floss, which is made out of 6 strands. In my example, I used 2 to 3 strands at a time, so carefully separate your embroidery floss into the right number of strands. Once the needle is threaded, pull it through until it's doubled and then knot the 2 ends together. You're going to start with the tail. First, stitch the white part of the tail onto the tip of one of the orange tail pieces. Push through from the bottom for the first stitch, pulling through so that the knot is on the inside of the tail. I used orange embroidery floss for all of the white and orange felt pieces on this craft, but if you do have white embroidery floss, you could use that for stitching on the white parts of the felt. For the stitches, you don't need to use anything fancy, just use small even stitches on both the top and the bottom. Not too small and not too large, or the stuffing will have an easier time escaping. Once the white is sewn on, cut and tie off your thread so the knot is on the back side, then repeat the process with the other tail piece. Make sure that the white is on the correct side of the tail so that when you sew the 2 tail pieces together, the white is on the outside. Then sew the 2 tail pieces together. Stitch the 2 pieces together starting with the long edge of the orange and going around the top, and then down the other long end. Do your first stitch from the underside of one of the tail pieces and then complete the stitch by going through both. This will make sure that the knot is on the inside of the tail and is not visible. As you reach the end of the tail, leave the small part of the tail where it connects to the body unsewn, and stuff some stuffing inside. You may need to use a pencil to shove the stuffing in. When you're happy with the amount of stuffing, you can leave it unclosed, cut and tie off your string so that the last stitch only went through 1 piece of felt, and so the knot is on the inside of the tail when you knot the thread. And then you can set the tail to the side. Next, you're going to be working on the head. Start with sewing on the ears and the whiskers onto one of the head pieces, starting your first stitch from the underside again so that the knot doesn't show. Once those are sewn on, you can use the black thread provided in the kit to use some overlapping stitches to create 2 eyes and a nose. Next, you will be sewing the head together. So once the front of the head of the ears and the whiskers and eyes is done, you can begin attaching it to the back of the head. So do the same thing you did with the tail, starting your first stitch from the underside of just one of the pieces so the knot is on the inside. And then you can start going through both pieces of felt. Once you get to the top of the head, sew in either a ribbon or a keychain. If using the keychain that's provided in the kit, you can thread the needle through the chain link more than once to make it more secure. If using a ribbon, create a loop of the desired length and sew the 2 ends to the felt as you sew the head closed. Leave the bottom of the head unsewn, fill it with stuffing, and then set it aside. The next step will be sewing the body together. So first you're going to sew on the white belly fur. Then you can attach the two halves of the body. As you sew along the body, you will be attaching the head and the tail. You can decide which side of the body you want the tail to be facing. Just remember to leave part of the body unsewn so that you can add the stuffing. So the last step is to add the last bit of stuffing into the body and then finish sewing it closed. And you've now completed this craft. Congratulations! We'd love to see what you made, so if you post it on social media, feel free to tag the Warminster Library.